I would start with the blueprint. The blueprint system is designed for those who may be coming from a free service or product like OpenLP or something along those lines that wasn't robust, but they want the functionality to mirror what they've already been able to do and transition into FreeShow, right? So they want to be able to do it, they can do an OpenLP, but do it in FreeShow. Start with the blueprint. And when you do that, you'll have a head start to where now you're getting over the learning curve, and the tutorial to help you get it set up walks you through some things that you may have never even known before with your previous software that FreeShow offers, like the actions, right? Like the countdown timers and things like that. So you want to make sure that you engage with that, set it up properly for your specific ministry. Each of these tools is very customizable, including the framework. The blueprint system is designed for you to make it meet your ministry needs. So the times that you need, you put those times in, it automatically will adjust accordingly. The next one, the confidence monitor. This is one I would recommend for anybody that's comfortable using FreeShow. They may or may not have a stage display or a confidence monitor built into their service, but they want to have better communication with the folks on stage to where they can understand and communicate to them how long is going to be left before the video is done, right? If there's a video that's playing, right? They want to be able to show that to their folks on stage to know, hey, this is how much time is left, right? This included a countdown, a video countdown automatically. Also, it tells you how much time until the next section of service automatically, right? Because it's building upon that framework you already established with the blueprint. So it takes what the blueprint is created and it reads it and translates that for everyone to know. Now, not only does it do that, it gives you full control of the service in the palm of your hand, whether it's a tablet or a phone, to where you can see the slides in terms of the actual text on each slide, and you have a control mechanism to go from one slide to the next, or to go back to the previous slide, all with a simple setup in FreeShow, okay? So you would install that system. It goes on top of what you've already established for the blueprint. And it includes the blueprint if you wanted to get the confidence system up front. To summarize the automation system, the automation system takes everything that you've already got and it enhances it, it improves it, it simplifies it. It's designed for those who are at the intermediate level of FreeShow and want to make the most of what this tool can do. They've already got their computers in place, they've already got their monitors, their screens in place. They want to have a streamlined workflow that their volunteers can easily reproduce each week. It makes it easy for them to train each week. This tool is designed for you. It improves on the confidence system in a way that it actually allows you to communicate to the stage. So you can actually have an important message that you can put in automatically, preset. It's already there for you to just type in the variable and activate it. And you can type in a license for a car that has their lights on. You can type in the name of a child that may need to have some support for the parent to come and pick them up or something along those lines. Or it may involve an announcement that you want to make sure that the announcement person or the speaker forgot and you want to remind them from the media booth. You can do that, all right? And this is something that is very convenient, easy to set up. It is designed to be a message system built into the system, right? And so FreeShow can support it. This system allows you to have it completely integrated. It also is designed to automatically translate dynamically what needs to be shown on the stage monitor, right? On that confidence monitor or screen, or on the tablet that the pastor or leader is looking at to see their notes and or their scriptures or lyrics or whatever it may be. And this system will automatically adjust on the big screen what's going on and what's being seen, not just for the folks on stage, but also for the folks in the media booth to be able to keep up and stay on track as well. I am super, super excited about the new Sunday launch media systems and what they're going to be able to do for you and your ministries as you move forward with FreeShow, because these systems are a game changer. They're not just a template. They're not just a simple download. They're not just a tutorial. They are all encompassing. They are systems. They involve all those different things, and they lead in an organized way that you don't have to worry about if you're using FreeShow properly. They help you use FreeShow the right way. So no more chaos every Sunday anymore. No more restarting and creating services from scratch and shuffling and doing all those different things. This system is designed to get FreeShow and the technology out of your way so you can focus on worship and the spirit with everyone else, knowing that the system, the presentation system, is going to work the way that you need it to each and every week. Check 1 2. Mic check 1 2. Welcome to not Free Show Friday, but Free Show in the Lab. I'm Gary B. Jr., your media consultant. It's been a crazy morning, but it's good. It's good. It's good. Hopefully, you guys are doing great. It is 6:40 a.m. over here in the great city of Atlanta, Georgia. Let me know where you're joining in from. We got a fun discussion going on today. I was supposed to do this last week and wanted to do it last week. But what ended up happening was the power went out. There was a bad storm here in my area, and so it got postponed. I wanted to do it during the week, but I was busy taking care of some other things. So I'm excited to be on with you guys now. We're going to be doing some performance review testing. Now, this is an unofficial test, but we want to see the impacts of what this is doing on our CPU, on our RAM and things like that. And so what I've got is a plan to, let's see here, we're going to be showing our history here. So I've got let me see, what is this? This is representing my CPU history at the bottom, and then my cores, my processing cores down there at the top. Or up there at the top, I should say. All right. And so what I was planning to do was also include the window for my activity monitor on a Mac. But what I'm gonna try to do is figure out how to do all this on a Windows computer as well. I've already opened up the task manager. The challenge is my Windows computer does act up, you guys. It does act up. I got something on my face there. Sometimes it will just overheat. And so I'm not gonna act like I can fix that or make that work right. But what I can tell you is right now, let me see here what we got going on. We've got Free Show open, I've got the internet open, and I got QuickTime open. I don't need that open at all. So let me close QuickTime. All right. And I'm going to quit my stage layout. Let's stop that one. All right. And so there's that. All right. So right now, what we got going on, we've got Free Show open. And what I'm going to do is pull up my notes here. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to shut Free Show down. All right. So we want to see what impact Free Show has on our processor when it is off. All right. I got some good feedback from you guys online. Let me pull up my YouTube. We did a poll, and a lot of you all were asking or giving some feedback about what you want to see in today's discussion. And we're going to go through that as well. If I go to my content here, we had quite a bit. Let's see here. We had NDI from Free Show versus OBS screen capture as the top request to see the difference between what impact does it have on your performance to use Free Show via NDI versus using it as a screen capture option. So basically capturing the screen through OBS versus, let me see if I can get my focus in a little bit better, versus getting the video through OBS from like a screen. I'm gonna turn on this TV back here to see what we can do to capture that, okay? So first test is let's turn Free Show off and boom, just shut it down. And notice everything dropped performance-wise. And if I were to show you guys my performance screen, let's see here. On my memory, let's see, CPU. I'm gonna show the memory. That's something that is interesting to me. So you guys can see here, the only thing I've got running is OBS. It's taking up 2 gigs. Let's see here. Chrome is taking up about a half a gig. Google Chrome Helper, though, is taking up almost 875 megs, and then 565 megs. And I'm sure you guys can give me some feedback on a better browser. So I'm open to the feedback. I'm open to the feedback. I'm very used to using, very used to using Google Chrome, so I'm not gonna act like I'm gonna switch right away. But those numbers, those performance numbers are dropping. Okay, so you can see there. I say numbers. The cores obviously are going down on my window on my Apple computer, and then there was a there's a big drop off there in terms of the need of processing um, as well. All right, and so let's see here. So this is efficiency cores gone down. Performance cores went down quite a bit when I closed it down. The efficiency cores are still kind of up where they were. They dropped a bit. All right. Now let's go ahead and open up FreeShow. So I'm gonna open that up. All right, FreeShow just open. Maximize this. Oh, all right. I'll say no here. Okay. So I got FreeShow open, and notice those performance cores jumped up quite a bit. The efficiency core spiked quite a bit as well. Okay. All right. So now let's do some testing. And so here's the things I wanted to test in the lab. The performance discussion. We wanted to test FreeShow on and off. Check. It jumped up quite a bit. And for the process or the RAM, it is using, let's see, FreeShow is here. It's using 200 megs. And then there's usually like a FreeShow renderer. There it is, FreeShow helper. There we go. FreeShow GPU helper, 662 megs. All right. That's with one output. Okay. One output is active. And I'm not setting any, I am setting it to OBS. Let me see if this is still on. Let me close off my stage. That's not going to be necessary. So let me disable the stage. Let's go back to show and see if anything happened here. Went down to 194, 187. No, here we go. 169 with the stage display off, and then the 414 with it off as well. So that extra display, extra output went down to 166 here for one, then 170, hovering around 175 or so. And then the GPU helper is at 414. All right. So we're seeing some changes here. Let's see here. Let me adjust this. I'm gonna pull this down a little bit for you guys so it's not blocking everything. All right. Boom. All right, let me show you something else here. Like I said, let me know where you guys are joining in from. Let's see here. Do we got anybody jumping on the chat? I don't see anybody jumping in on the chat yet, but let me know where you're joining in from. And the main reason we're doing this is because we're going to be using FreeShow in a lot of different ways. All right. And so the idea is to be as efficient as possible. And some of you guys already know how to be as efficient as possible with it. I'm not going to sit up here and act like I'm an expert at it because that's something I've never tested, right? So I've never tried it out. I'm working with an M1 Pro um, MacBook Pro. So this is a 16-inch MacBook Pro. Like I said, I've been using it for some years now, and I've used the MacBook Air before that. They both have 16 gigs of memory, which was important because I was doing some video editing, and I still do. And so that's really important for me. But um, the it's got 1 terabyte of hard drive, and like I said, it's running a 16 gigs of memory, and I don't know what the performance cores and all that stuff are on this device. I don't even know if I could tell. Um, mm, 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 mm. Whatever they are, they're pretty standard. It's not like I didn't soup it up or anything like that. I didn't have to update all that. major stuff. Let's see here. I'm just looking to see if there's anything special in terms of systems or anything. But no, that's it. Okay, so it's like it's got 2 efficiency cores and 2 performance cores. It's a 4-core, I guess. I don't know what that is, but we'll see. All right. Now, for some of you all, you'll be using a Windows computer. All right. And so I've got my Windows computer over here. If I do the same thing, they both are running 1.59 for FreeShow. And I've got FreeShow open over here with one particular window. And on my task manager here, I was going to see if I could share this. Let's see, a CPU. It jumps up quite a bit on here in terms of the CPU. But I'm trying to see if I can show it some way for you guys. For my Windows nerds out there, let me know if there's a good way to show this. I'm looking at the resource monitor and the task manager. And this computer has 32 gigs or 31.5 gigs of RAM. And the memory usage is about halfway, about 17.9 being used. So let me see if I can share this through OBS to you guys, because this is where things get funny with this computer. Let's see. Say performance. I'm just making an output, and I'll do a window capture. We'll call this one task manager. Okay. All right. It's not showing up on here for some reason, which is weird. But all that to be said, we'll figure that out. We'll figure that part out. All right. So let's talk about NDI screen share versus OBS screen capture. And to do that, I'm going to turn on my monitor here. This is the one everybody's been waiting for, so I'm gonna jump right to it. Let's get this TV on. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna use this to be an output in FreeShow. All right. So I've got a simple output here, simple screen. And what I'll do is turn this on to be, I'll right click on it, edit, and I want it to go to that screen over there. It's already set to do so. Perfect. And so now what I want to do is I want you all to be able to look at the performance that we've got going on over here. Okay. So when I turn this on, let's see, activate the window, and I'm going to just hit share. Let's see what happens. So I'm actually presenting something. Nothing major. Nothing major happened. Like I said, it's not a motion background to it. So we'll test it out with a motion background. But nothing major is happening. It did jump a little bit. Things went up, but nothing major there. All right. And then it's balancing out, leveling out. Now the question is, if I show this, Tronics 2481. Do I know much about the decklink support? My friend, I just set somebody up with it last week. They were using a Blackmagic couple. They were using the Ultra HD and the 3G monitor, I believe it was. And so yes, and it worked perfectly fine. So it'll actually be in the 6.0 beta. And if you go over to your output settings, just a quick caveat real quick. If you go over to your output settings, you'll see an option down here that'll say Blackmagic device or something like that. And you'll be able to pick the option that you want to be your output. And it's real simple, really nice. The Ultra HD recorder, whatever, I can't remember what it was called, but that one doesn't like 1080i. So you would have to make sure you do 1080p if you're doing that. But other than that, it works fine. But it doesn't, in ProPresenter, it doesn't take 1080i from that device as well. And so it wasn't anything that was inconsistent with what was already going on with the standard as well. So, but yeah, really cool setup with the Blackmagic devices, period. Like I said, specifically the deck links, I have not tested it out, but the Blackmagic devices are all visible. So you'll be able to see them all from down there. And you just pick the one you want, which is really sweet. Really sweet. All right. So let's go back in. So we're testing this out. Now, here's the question. I'm sharing via OBS on my, if I go to primary here, that's showing in the lab. Let me update here. Go to properties and we'll pull in here and say, okay. And did anything else happen here? So things are staying pretty steady. Okay. Pretty steady. After I do this test, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back up to uh, here and I'm going to make this be NDI off, and I'm going to do the same thing, but I'm going to set up a window capture, right? And so let me show you guys what I'm doing here. And I'll do it studio mode so you guys can see me a little bit better. Okay. Hold on. So sharing my screen and doing this at the same time, what I will be doing is going into FreeShow primary, right? And then I'm going to actually make an additional, oh, I already got it in there. So if I do this TV screen here and I keep the performance on and I turn this off, you'll notice this monitor is here and I'm looking to see if my performance does anything. Seems like it dipped a little bit. It had a little slight drop, which is fine. And then I'm gonna turn off NDI here. So I'll do edit. I'm gonna disable NDI here. And I'm gonna see if I got it on anywhere else. I'm gonna turn that off there. And here. That's off already. My stage, I'm gonna turn that off as well. So we've got NDI off. The performance seemed to go, it dropped a little bit. I can see it declining there, which is great. It went right back up just a bit when I opened up OBS. So OBS definitely takes a load. If I go over here, you'll see that OBS Studio is 1.44 gigs that it's using. There's no extra help or anything like that with it. I'm using about 12 and a half gigs of RAM, 12.75, something like that. And everything is fine. Like I said, my fans aren't even on this computer. My fans on my Windows computer are on, and I haven't even got to set it up yet to actually to show anything. But it is there. Let's see here. Kyle Bettina 8427. Can I ask how to properly put a PowerPoint and camera side by side? How to put a PowerPoint and a camera side by side. That's a great question, my friend. I don't have well, I guess I do have a PowerPoint. There's a couple ways you can do it. And so one way is to do it all in FreeShow. Another way is to use it with OBS. So let's look and see how we would do both of those. I'm trying to think about how to do it in FreeShow. Yeah, there's a couple ways you can do it. So when you say side by side, yeah, that shouldn't be too hard. All right, I'm gonna come over here real quick. All right, so let me come back. I want to pull this down so I can see you guys' comment. Let's shrink this back down. All right. Uh, Tronics2481 says, yes, great. Now I can deploy FreeShow at my church. Been waiting for this. Thanks for your ministry. God bless. I'm excited for you, Tronics. Let me know how it goes. I'm curious. Do a recording or something so you can share with us, so we can share that with the community that it does work with a deck link, right? And if you ever need some consulting support on the process, let me know. I'm happy to help. Just sign up for some time on my website. All right. Okay. So Kyle Batana says, right now, what I do right is manually adjust my PowerPoint from FreeShow converted the PowerPoint as image, and the camera is via OBS. Okay, but what you thought last video was camera and scripture side by side. Okay, yeah. And so I'm guessing you want to keep using OBS. Is that right? Or do you? Or what's your goal? Could you say how do you put them PowerPoint and the camera side by side? And so what I would say is to not go to edit, but you would go into, let's go here. All right. And so for PowerPoint now, they've updated. So if you get the 159 update, you'll be able to import your PowerPoints. You don't have to export them as images or anything like that. And I've got a show in here. This is actually a PowerPoint. Okay. Okay. So all in FreeShow. Got you. Okay. So this particular slide here is all PowerPoint. And the crazy thing is, let's see here. If I go there, I can edit. So this is actually the background. It's built in on the actual slide like an image, like how you would do it in PowerPoint. Okay. If I go to items here, you'll see there's a text box, media, and then another text box. That's how you can import your PowerPoints by simply going up to File, go to Import, and then select PowerPoint. It'll bring it in all the layers as you need it. Okay. Now, the only downside to that is everything is on the show level or on the slide level. So I can't like hide the backgrounds here because the background is not really a background. It's actually a part of the slide because it was all edited in PowerPoint. Everything's all together. Okay. So let's look at this. How to get these side by side. Um, in here, I'm trying to think about in FreeShow. Is there a way to layer it? To actually layer it this way. So the image piece would be a lot easier. If you bring it in as an image, it would be a lot easier because you can shrink it down. But when you say side by side, they're both pretty wide. So you're gonna have a background and then another piece. And I'm trying to think about with overlays, you can do a lot. And so I would probably do like a camera overlay, right? My GH5 overlay. Let me check that. Let me edit it real quick. It's saying nothing is here. It's got a text box. That's weird. And there's the camera, but let's pick the right camera. All right, there we go. Okay. So if I close it out, what I was thinking you could do is make an overlay that would be whatever size you want. And so I would make this be here and pull it wherever you want it to be, like a lower thirds or something like that, like a image box. I wonder what would happen if that is like that. I don't think will it show up like that? No, okay, it'll be transparent. I was like, what? Okay, let's see. If I go there and I've got this video or this slide going on, you could do something like that to where it would show up and it'll have your slides really big and then your overlay would be down here as the video input. Yeah, the video, he said the image is a better workaround right now. Let's see here. Yeah, all in FreeShow. Okay, camera is left showing the pastor and PowerPoint is left. The problem is that the actual PowerPoint file gets ruined. Mm. My friend, back buddies, booties 137 coming in from India. Welcome from India. Nice to have you. Nice to have you. So camera is left showing the pastor and PowerPoint. I'm guessing PowerPoint you mean is right. The problem is the actual PowerPoint file gets ruined. Yeah. I see what you mean. I'm trying to think about what's a better way to get that PowerPoint file in there and not interfere. I know in OBS, okay, yeah, PowerPoint is right. That's what I assumed. That makes sense. In OBS, you can do a lot more with reframing. In FreeShow, I don't know that you can reframe an output. If that makes sense. Like And I'm guessing, I don't even know if you can do that in ProPresenter. For those who use ProPresenter, let me know. Can you take an output and make it a smaller size in uh in ProPresenter? I'm just curious. Like, can I take this and make it be a smaller window somewhere? Because I don't think you can do that here. If I go to, it would be an output setting. Hmm. No, there's a way. Let me see. If I go to settings here and primary is set to default. So if I go to my styles, now I would have to change the whole piece here, and I don't want to do that. Transitions, because I was thinking I could change the aspect ratio, but that would really affect everything because you can't put more than one style on one video or one output, and you can't put an output inside of another output, except on. You could do that in the stage display, which could be useful. So you could potentially accomplish this through the stage display. Let me see. If I go here to stage, yeah, you could. Now you got me thinking. This is a work window. Let's turn this on. So technically, you could say, put out an output window here, and then you could do items and media. Put a camera here. You said the camera was on the left, though. All right. So we got that there. You guys pay attention and let's see what my performance is doing. The stage displays are no joke, especially that output window, which is what we're testing now, actually, believe it or not, which is great. And so if I go to my camera, I get to choose the camera I want. I'll pick that one. And so I've got that set up that way, which is fine. Let's see, I'll make this a little bit wider so it'll fit better. So you could technically just do it that way. You could do them both here, and then you could put a background. Let's see, items, put some media back there. Um, like I said, you won't be able to traditionally do it from so let me see, I think I got a document. I think I got a YOLO box file in here somewhere that has some backgrounds. It's gonna be crazy, but I think I got it. Let's see here. Uh, where is my YOLO box? Let's see here. Oh, there we go. Okay, so let's do just a general background here. We'll do a Starry Night. It's a movie, but it'll be back there. All right. Bring that there. Bring that there. We'll just make this cover. And then I'll go to my items. I'm gonna bring that down. And down. And so you could do this and then you can output this to OBS. And it would just be that. Now I guess it's not bad. It's not a hard thing to do to actually navigate your slides because now I don't need the show. I don't need that overlay to be there. So I don't need this on. I can turn that off. Let's see here. But just make sure your PowerPoint file has no lots of visuals because it can't get imported to FreeShow. Am I right? No, it should be imported now. It should work fine if the new update. The update should work. Let's see here. Man, I watched all your videos almost finished. That's exciting, man. It says our church right now is starting to fix our live stream, and I want to contribute on that. Thanks for your vids. No problem, my friend. No problem. I appreciate that. I really do. And so what you have now is the ability to turn on your stage display. So you can go to settings, go to outputs, turn on your stage, and then you'll pick that stage that we made. So we got this stage output here, right? And I can enable it. And now I got the stage output active. Let's see what it does to the performance. Look, you guys are seeing it better than I am. let's see, it's picking a window. Let me turn on NDI with it. So right now it's going through to a window. I'm gonna turn on NDI. Let's see what it does. Performance is doing okay. Let me stop sharing real quick. And I'll make this be an invisible window. All right, now share again so I can put that back there. So the in-house, they're gonna be seeing your slides here. And then online, you would set up your live stream output. Let me show you what I would do in OBS. All right. So let's do no, we'll keep that on share screen. Okay. So yeah, I gotta keep sharing my screen there. And then here, I would set up like a live stream. And that one, I don't know what that is. This I don't need. We'll make it be an NDI source. And I'm just looking for the stage. So I'm gonna type in stage for the name. And then you pick your NDI source, and I'm picking NDI stage and say okay. And then OBS will have this coming out. And you can pretty it up. Like I said, I got this, it's not all the way to the edge there, but that would be what your audience online would see, right? And then I can transition this up, and now you guys can see that. And so that would be a way to do it. And it works. Okay. The thing I don't like about this setup is that it's a lot of wasted space. So your audience online is still gonna be pretty small. So I'll be conscious of that. I would probably consider doing the overlay with a small, like a picture in picture type setup there. That would be my recommendation personally. But if you want it to be side by side and big like that, you can do it, but you would do it through the stage output like I did. And then yeah, my performance stuff has gone through the roof. Let's see here. If you guys look at this here, you'll see that the demand for that output window is no joke. Okay, that output window in FreeShow is not a game. So let me see here. If I go back to, I want to go to the next slide, but I don't have any extra shortcuts. Let me pull it over here. If I go to show, I go there, I go there. You'll see that it transitions, and I'm here, and I'm just looking at seeing what it's doing. And oh, you know what? Let me do it this way. I'll control it from my phone. So let's see if the wireless connection does anything to the performance. If I go back in here, we got connections. I'm gonna do my control show option. Let's get a picture of this. Open up Chrome. All right, so now if we're here, I can navigate just using my phone, and I'm just looking at that performance level. The efficiency cores have gone up. I'm navigating through a show real time, and I'm just using my phone to do it. So we got our Wi-Fi connection on in FreeShow. We got OBS running. We got our stage display running. And this is the impact it has. I can hear my fans kicking in on my computer, and that's not very often. I can tell it's getting warm. But so if you do this, you need to have a pretty powerful computer to do it, is what I would say. All right. Let's see here. Will this upload it here? Tell me what you mean, Kyle. Kyle Batana. Will this upload it? Oh, yeah, let me know. Because this is going to show up on my channel. If you're asking about will this be on the channel, yeah. This is on my live part of the channel. So I don't know how many live videos I have. I got a lot of live videos. So I've gone live quite a bit. Okay. And I'm just playing around with this to see what this slide would do. And it's doing quite a bit, but it's quite a bit of performance needed, as you guys can see there. My Windows computer, I couldn't get the OBS to actually read the performance screen. My task manager, it looks like it's giving me some kind of error, which is kind of crazy. All right. So, but yes, all my videos will be available on my channel. You can just get to them from going to the live page. All right. So let me go back here. Let me go to my headshot. And let's see what happens when I stop. Let's see what the performance does when I stop that stage display. because like I said, I can hear my fans, which like I said, is not often that I'll hear my fans on this 16-inch computer. So if I go back here, oh, this is what I was looking at earlier to get my phone going. If I go back to the show, I can right click and I would edit this and I would disable that. If you disable the output, does it still show up in here? Let's see here. Nope. Yeah, it locks up. Okay, so if you disable the output, it will not show up. And you'll see there, I'm just kind of froze. But that was me. I'm just checking to see what happens when I disable the output. I just wanted to make sure I was on the right page. And so, yeah, it'll just freeze up on you. All right. And so turn off the output. So that stops the NDI from going out. I'm going to still go ahead and turn off NDI. And then on your stage, this piece here, this little window here being there will still take a toll on your computer. Now you'll notice that there's quite a bit of performance improvement that happens over here. I can see that it dropped quite a bit when I turned off that stage display. And my thought is, if I were to turn off this output window, if I delete this output window here, let me see. I believe it'll drop down even more. Yep, you see it starting to dip. So it dropped a bit more when I turned that off. Just a simple turn off that output window helped out quite a bit. I'm looking to see if it goes down. Yeah, it's still going down even more, which is great. On that fourth performance core, you'll see it going down quite a bit. You can see the cores here actively working. I wonder what happened if I clear this out and I actually take this item off as well. So we will hit that and delete that. And then this is actually a background. I don't need that either. So I'll clear that out. So the performance kind of leveled out. My laptop is cooling off and the fans are dying down. A little bit of a drop there. Okay, not bad. That's a good test. Good test. Kyle Batana 8427. Let me know what you mean when you said, will this upload it here? I'm guessing you're talking about this video. Lee Hick, is it possible to make a specific overlay to show only on certain outputs? I know it's possible to turn off all overlays for an output, but I'd like to have only selected overlays not to be shown. Okay, let me make sure I understand that right. I know it's possible. No, it's okay if it's off topic. No worries, my friend. Is it possible to make a specific overlay to show only on certain outputs? Absolutely, that is possible. And the way you would do that is, if you right click here, you won't really do much with it in this place, right? Like you can do on a slide, like on a slide, you can actually right click on the slide and say specific outputs, right? And you can say, I want it to play on a primary or on a live only, on a loop. And you pick as many of these as you want to. On the outputs, it's a little bit different. So you would have to right click on it and you would go up to the option that says edit. And then you would actually edit the items on the output, right? So I can right click on this and I can say, I only want this to show up on my loop output, okay? So now when I go to my show, I can turn on that output. It's active, but it's not showing up because this is my primary. So not until I go to my outputs and turn on the loop will it show up. And so now I'll turn it back off, turn it back on. You notice this is the main output, the primary, but the loop now has that particular overlay active, okay? So you would literally adjust the items inside by editing the output, the overlay, I'm sorry. You would adjust the items in it and you would dictate by right-clicking on each item. And a lot of overlays don't have a lot of items, so you might only have one timer on there, right? And so you just dictate it by that. And then every time you activate that overlay, it'll automatically just go to the output that it's designed to go to. I think that answers your question. Yeah, so yeah, going back to Kyle, yeah, this will be on my channel. Just go to my live, I don't even know what you call it, the playlist. I don't know what you would call it, but yeah, there's a bunch of tabs. At least when I look at it from the studio, I think you can do it from just a regular visitor. You should be able to go in there and see it as well. Okay. Okay, Lee Hicks says, okay, I see, big thing. Okay, I was looking for the specific output under the right click context menu. Yeah, I get that. That makes a lot of sense. I think the challenge with that is because, well, I don't know what the challenge is with it. It could the developer could possibly do something like that to make that a part of it. I'm sure he has a good reason why he doesn't. But being that I'm not a developer, I would not know. I would not have a clue. So I'm not going to act like I understand how and why that is not the case. But I understand exactly where you were thinking about it. Okay. All right. So let's go back. Let me go back to my shows. Let's check some things off of our lab video. So free show on and off. Check. NDI screen versus OBS screen. We did that one. OBS video source versus a free show overlay. Now this one is going to be different. Okay. So, let's look at this together. So free show video overlay, right? So that's what we were just on. So I'm gonna make this overlay. I'm gonna make this one be a big full screen. And the question is, for me at least, is will this I think I got some stuff hanging out. No? I'm looking to see if it's hanging out a little bit. No, okay. We're good, I think. Okay. But the question is, will this take up more performance to do this as an overlay versus, let's see here, versus, and this is just a quick check-in. OBS is at 1.89 gigs. Free show 250 or so. The free show helper is at about 530. Okay. And I'm going to edit that again. I'm gonna put that on my main. So I'm gonna turn off the little loop thing that I did here. Okay, there we go. Turn it off. So it'll show up on all my outputs. So if it's active, it's active. It's over the top. Okay. I don't need the extra loop video, so I'll edit and turn that one off. Don't need that. Okay, show. I have on my show here. We'll do the OBS source versus the video overlay. All right. So I got my screen active here. I got this screen active showing the video source. I've got OBS. I'm going to switch it over in a second to be on my primary. So my free show primary will be here. So you'll see that here. All right. This is literally showing what's going on in OBS. And now I'm going to go ahead and activate my GH5 overlay. So now this is an overlay in free show being active. And it did bring up a little bit. It brought the numbers up a little bit. And then they're dropping back down. Now I'm just looking at the bottom cores here. They're kind of dropping down. And then the efficiency cores went up. It seems like a little bit of a spike there. But everything is kind of balancing out. And if I were to go to my screen share here, we'll bring this up. And free shows at 250. The GPU helper for free shows at 470, 503. And it's still outputting behind me here. OBS is at 188. Not a lot of change there. Memory pressure, pretty low. I say low, I don't know. App memory used. Yeah, everything looks decent. I'm looking at that last performance core. The efficiency cores are going through the roof. I say through the roof. Like they're spiking a little bit in terms of going up. And then the performance cores down at the bottom there, they're kind of leveled out, pretty consistent, pretty calm. Okay. And that is with me having an output with an overlay with a video in the overlay. Now the next question is, how does that compare to me just using my headshot video in OBS? So let's look at that. If I turn this off, so I'm gonna stop the overlay. That stops. Let's see what it does performance-wise. Does it turn anything down? Things went down a little bit, yeah. Yeah, it definitely started to decline a little bit. And then if I go here, OBS went up to 2 gigs of memory usage. It's going down to 188. And then FreeShow down to 522 on the GPU helper, 250 for the regular. Oh, here's another FreeShow helper plugin. I'm not sure what the FreeShow helper plugin is or what it's doing. And then the renderer, I wasn't paying attention to that. Hopefully you guys were. We can go back and look at the video later on and see exactly what those are doing. But yeah, things leveled out a little bit. Now, if I go to my headshot video, let's see what happens there. So this is all OBS, okay? No overlays from anywhere else, just the performance overlay. And I'm just looking at my screen. It went up a little bit. I can see a little bit of a increase, but not major. OBS, actually the resources went down for OBS. It's at 164, FreeShow 248, and the GPU helper on FreeShow is it's sitting steady at 524. So I don't think there's a big difference with those. I don't see it's dipping down a little bit. I would say the OBS is a little bit more efficient. It seems. I would say OBS seems a little bit more efficient for video rather than the overlay, but not by much. Like I said, you can see that timeline is not much different. There's a little bit of a spike, but I'm not sure what caused that on those efficiency cores. And then not much changed on my RAM is what I'm looking at here. Okay. Let's see here. Chrome helper. Yeah, a lot of stuff there. Okay. Now that test is done, let's see here. Motion background versus image background. So we'll do that even more. We'll say motion background versus no background versus image background. All right. So right now I've got OBS. I got FreeShow with no background right now. It's completely empty. Nothing's on it. If I go and I add a background, let's do one just from online, something everybody could use. And I'll do Pixabay. And this is about performance. I'm gonna do track. I like that one. This guy's getting it. I like that. Let's see. I'm gonna say race. Race track. This guy's about to run. I like that one. We'll drag that one in. Let's see what it does. Okay. So I can select that. Let's see what it does. It didn't really have much of an impact. And I'm just sending it to an output behind me. I don't have NDI on it all. Not a major difference or drop or increase. OBS is still the same 164. FreeShow 250. The helper 508. And so that image in the background doesn't really do much. It's there, which is great, but it's not doing much to impact my computer performance. Now let's see what happens when we do an actual motion background. So we'll go to my yellow box files here, and we will clear this out, the search. And oh, you know what? I got some story loops. So I got some story loop backgrounds. These are crazy. We're gonna do one of these. This looks performance oriented. All right, so I'll select that one. And now let's see what happens. It's going on behind me. It looks clean. I really like that backdrop. That's why I downloaded it. And it spiked. Yeah, that performance spiked quite a bit. If I look here, you'll notice that OBS didn't change. It's still at 1.65. 16, it went up a little bit. The FreeShow GPU, where'd it go? Here we go. It's at 409. FreeShow still at 254. So there's a little bit of a spike with it there. Let me see if it's spiking when it's actually showing on my screen. A little bit. Okay. So it's leveling out. It's not, it took a little bit, that little spike there that happened based on when I activated the video, but then it just kind of leveled out. Okay. And I'm just looking at these bottom two performance cores. Now, NDI is not on. So if I go back in here and I edit this and I turn on NDI, and it says may cause performance issues. Let's see if that causes a little bit of a spike. I'll turn the audio on with it. It spiked it a little bit. You'll see that point there where it spiked, right? This one didn't spike too much. The efficiency cores are going up. So NDI is on. Now, if I go here, let's see what it looks like if I go to primary. And now that's showing up in OBS. This is all actively showing from FreeShow with a motion background via NDI in OBS. And it's not a big deal. It's not doing much on my end, at least from what I can tell. Like I said, those performance cores are kind of balanced out. And if I look here, OBS is holding steady at about 1.65. Let me share my screen with you guys. And then I'm looking for the FreeShow. FreeShow renderers at 424. The GPU jumped up to 402. And then FreeShow is about 285 right now. It was hovering around 265, I think, 280, 250 or something like that. So slight spike, nothing major. And everything's kind of balanced out. Now those efficiency cores are they're going up quite a bit. I'm not sure what's causing that, but they spiked quite a bit. I think when I came over here, let me see what happens if I go over here. Yeah, everything's pretty chill. But those efficiency cores did spike. I'm not sure what caused them to spike. Let's see if it's a different video that would cause a different effect. I'm gonna drag that on. And we got a different video now. If I select that video, you'll see it showing up there. I'm curious what happens when I do this to just do a preview. This is a preview of FreeShow's output. I'm just looking at the output there to see, or the performance to see if it does anything. It doesn't seem like it did much anything to it, which is great. Okay, not bad. All right, motion background versus image background. The motion background did have that spike, but it's not much after that. It kind of leveled back out. It kind of went up just a bit and stayed there, but it didn't go too far. Okay, and let's see, multiple HDMI outputs versus NDI outputs. This one could be a challenge. Let's see, multiple HDMI outputs. I don't have a lot of HDMI output. I need another screen. Okay, I got another screen. Let me see. Uh, okay, I got a monitor here. I got to get a battery for it. So I'm gonna get it. I'm gonna get a little monitor here. Hold on. All right, plugging it up, and now I need to output it. So I had to get my my HDMI cable. So I got an HDMI cable here. Let's see. Let me get the input set up properly. This is my handy Portkeys mini monitor that I use for my camera. And now I'm going to plug this into the, I'm gonna try to plug this in to my Orion split extender, which is fairly warm right now, understandably so. See if I can get this to wrap around. It's not a lot of space back here, so my split extender is kind of tight. All right. There we go. Boom. Okay. So I got an additional window now. You see the spike? I can see it. Just jumped up performance-wise. Oh, I should be looking at the CPU more than the GPU usage percentage tab than the RAM usage, as the latter doesn't tell much. Okay, I think you should be looking at the CPU or GPU usage percentage. Let's see here. Just tell me how to do it. Let me see. the CPU or GPU usage, not the memory. Okay, okay, I got you. And so here's my CPU. I was looking at the RAM. You could also see CPU usage per application, which would tell if it's FreeShow or OBS causing more load. Okay. So in here, OBS, CPU usage percentage, and then FreeShow here. Now tell me about this. Let's see, a system, idle, uh, so it's saying 86%, but what is that? Well, it's saying percentage of CPU. Let me see. Let me pull it back up. But I don't know that that is the case. So somebody tell me about what this represents. I'm looking to see if there's anything else in terms of when do these add up to be 100? That's what when I think about a percentage, I'm always thinking about like 100%, and they don't add up to be 100%. So what is the difference and or what's that process look like? So Lee, let me know. Let me know what this means because I'll show this screen from now on. That's great. Um, so this is my plugin for the extra monitor. So my what's it called? That split extender. That's what that is. That instant view. Now that's an interesting thing to consider is because this is something that runs. It's a plugin on your computer. I don't have any decklink devices, but this is one of the reasons people use a decklink device is because of that. They don't want it to take up the performance, I believe. I'm guessing it's GPU stuff though, right? Let's see. Okay, one CPU. Okay. So he says it might be it's using 87% of one CPU core. Okay. I'm not sure about how Mac OS shows those percentages. Yeah, I wish I could do this on Windows, man. My Windows OBS output for the task manager is completely blank. Like it won't even show up. And I can see, I can see it here, but when I try to share it so you guys can see it, it's not showing up at all. Because I was going to do this on Windows as well. Let's see here. So yeah, so we'll look at this though. It should tell something, right? It should tell some story. This is at 37 with FreeShow, 84 with OBS. All right. Now, and it's jumping around a little bit. Now let's look at what are we doing? Output screens. So if I go back here, let's turn on that loop. I'm gonna make that loop point to here. So let's see what this one is. This is output 5. So I will select this to be here. And then I will turn it on and go to the next screen. Let's see what's going on. So FreeShow is at 49, OBS 82. And jump back down to 36. Performance-wise, with that additional output via HDMI. And let me make sure NDI is off on that output. Yep, no NDI on, okay. OBS went to 90. And FreeShow's at 40. The helper, 26. And you'll notice those efficiency cores kind of spiked a little bit. The performance is staying pretty steady though. It looks fine. Yeah. Oh, let me output actually. I'm not even outputting. I turned it on, but I didn't output because I definitely do not see anything on it. Okay, here we go. Now it's actually outputting to both screens. Let's see what that does. OBS at 90, FreeShow went to 47. A little bit of an increase there. You can see it here on the performance side of things. FreeShow 36, OBS at 89, and then that instant view, the actual Orion split extender is at 103. So NDI says definitely, or Lee he says NDI definitely causes some extra load. I'm about to turn on NDI for this setup right now for both because I think I have it off on both of these. If I go to my settings, my loop is off, and then okay, so this one is on. I'm gonna turn it off real quick. So NDI, this is NDI off. Free show, it dropped quite a bit to 34. And I can see that performance reflect down here. And then let's see, it went down to 25. Wow. 27. And now I'm gonna turn NDI back on both of those outputs now, because I'm sending them out through HDMI, and I'm going to send them out through here. All right, through NDI. So I'm gonna turn NDI on here, and I'm gonna turn it on here. Let's see. Free show jump to 39 and 45. OBS is staying pretty consistent. Instant views seem to be staying pretty consistent, above 100 at least. Free show kind of leveled out 44. And now I'm going to turn off those actual HDMI outputs. I'm going to like make them an invisible window and see what happens. Let's see here. Free show. Actually, I'm going to stop sharing. I'm going to stop presenting and see what it does. So free show leveled out at about 42. All right. Everything else stayed pretty level. So if I stop sharing to the physical displays, does that do anything? The instant view went way down to 21. Wow, it just fell off the grid. It's down to 1% because I'm only sharing to one display with it instead of two. Actually, no. Let's see. What is this one? Uh, I'm just looking what I got it connected to. I was trying to see what else I got it connected to. I got 3 HDMI ports connected to it, but only 2 of them are active. And so yeah, instant view went way down. I don't even know, it fell off the grid. OBS at the top. Free show stayed at 46, 44. It was around 45 earlier. So now if we turn on invisible window on the loop and turn on invisible window here, which is already on, which the invisible window thing, that's something that it basically stops the output. Okay. It just makes it to where the output is not going to go to a physical screen. That's what that means. As far as that's how I look at it, at least. If I go here, you can't select a physical HDMI output. Okay. So I did that, and that free show went up for a second. Now it's coming back down. Here we go. Instant views out at like 2%. And then free shows hovering around 45 to 40 to 50. And OBS is staying back where it is. Let me see if I can do my primary. The primary should be showing, that should be showing, oh, I turned off. Let's turn that off. Turn this on. Okay. But it's not active. Let me update this real quick. Make sure it's running right. Because it should be a video capture. I just got to update that one. Boom. Okay. So now let's see what is going on with OBS. 141 is spiked. And then free show went to 83. When I was sharing through NDI to OBS. Wow, wow, wow. Let me see if I can pull this in to be a little bit different. I'm gonna pull up that performance number to put it on top of my free show primary. We're bringing that share screen. Let's see here. So we'll do scene, and I will do, it's going to be hard. Like I said, it's hard to capture everything and not have things overlap, but we need to be able to see it all. And so I'm going to bring that in. And I'm going to try to do is make this show up here. Okay, and I'll mute that there. Okay, now this is what I wanted to see. Boom. All right. So I'm sending out through OBS. the share screen so we can see that together. FreeShow jumped to 193. OBS is at 156. And so that NDI output with a video capture is crazy from FreeShow. And then OBS jumped. It was standing pretty steady. I think it was like at 100 or something like that, or lower like 90. FreeShow jumped to almost 200. And now let's go back here. Let's see what happens if I turn off that background. So if I turn the background off, what does it do in FreeShow? NDI still is on. It dropped significantly. It went down to under 140. And I was going to say it went all the way down to 55. So that motion background, your motion background is going to play a big part in what goes on when you're using NDI quite a bit. All right. So if I go back here and I just put a regular background that's non-motion, let's try that. Let's do a YOLO box file. I'll just do a clean backdrop. I'm just going to pick this one. All right. So this is a motion background. It went up to 106 on FreeShow, down to 95 now. OBS is steady at about 100, and then FreeShow dropped down to 58. And there was a slight spike, and it's just dropping down quite a bit. But it's outputting, as you guys can see, not here, sorry. It's outputting the FreeShow at 58 now, and then OBS is even lower. And so your standard backgrounds that are not motion graphics, as we would assume, is not going to be too hard or too bad on the system. Okay, so Lee says, on Windows, I've noticed that FreeShow has constant 10% CPU usage, even when it's idling. And I mean output off and NDI disabled. Okay, output off and NDI disabled. Let me test it out on my end. Let's see. So I'm going to, when my output is off, let me turn off the NDI. So this is the loop. We'll turn NDI off there, and then we'll turn this one off here. Okay. Let's see what we get. It's no longer transmitting NDI. It's at 58, 49, 52. And I don't know if it needs to be updated. Let's see. Let me go to just do it this way. If I turn off the primary, let's see what that does. Okay. So I'm not even sending the signal through to OBS. Mine's at 49. But like I said, it says percent of CPU. I'm not sure what that means, because right now, 64% of my CPU is at idle, right? I'm using 25% on average or so. I think the number of outputs contributes to the CPU load quite a bit. The number of outputs, oh, for sure, for sure. So if I go back over here and we turn these on to be physical outputs like we did earlier, go here, and it's actively on. I got that there. And then this one is on as well. If I output this, let's see what's going on. So I'm outputting these to a physical HDMI. FreeShow, actually FreeShow is not doing much. It's staying at 49. The thing that this inputting or outputting for me the most is the instant view. So FreeShow with the multiple outputs didn't really change much for me on the CPU side of things. Now, what I'm curious about is the stage. Yeah, my FreeShow stayed at 50. It's hovering around 50 the whole time. All right, so now if I go here and I turn on a stage output though, let's pick a stage and I'll do, where did my work stage go? I thought I had one called work stage. I guess that's what's already selected. So I'll pick one of these. These are from my, I need an output for that. That's cool though, we'll do this. Let's see what this window is. 4. What in the world? That's 5. Let's see what this one is. Okay, 3. That makes sense. Okay, that's better. I couldn't see my 3. All right. Now, for what we've got, I got a stage output going on, just a basic stage. My free show's still at about 50. It didn't change much. Mac OS has where we're showing the CPU load. For example, on an 8-core machine, it could be 800. Oh, is that what that is? That makes sense. I guess. Look, I guess. Did you look that up, Lee Heek? Let me know. Let me know. Lee Hick, let me know if that I'm probably jacking up your name. Forgive me. But so that's what it's doing, right? It's doing what it's doing, which is great. But my free show didn't change at all. My question is though, check this out. If I go to here and I thought I had an output, a stage output that was called work window. I guess because it's blank, there's nothing to show. But if I do output here, I wonder what that do. I have some ministries I work with that like to show that, and then they'll put in not text box. We'll clear this out. They will have and I'm looking to see is it spiking at all. We'll do slide text here, and then we'll do another one. Next slide text here. And we'll make it, I'm trying to make it as realistic as possible. And this font, we'll make it be something. We'll do orange. Okay. All right. So if I go back now, I got an active. FreeShow went to 59, but it's not a motion background. I don't know. CPU cores? I should know that, but I don't. So see if you can look it up for me. It's an M1 Pro, 16-inch. Not a Mac. It's a MacBook Pro, but it's an M1 Pro chip. Okay. And so I was looking up here to see if I could figure it out from my system settings. And maybe I missed it, but maybe it's there and I just don't know it. So if I go to my system settings, about details, I would say down here in the system report, let's see, audio, Bluetooth. Let me see. Is my share screen? Okay, I'll just share my whole screen a little bit bigger for you guys. Camera, Bluetooth, diagnostic controller, graphics, printer, storage. That's software. Let's see, maybe it's a chip. Okay, total number of cores. I just overlooked it. So 10, 8 performance, and 2 efficiency. I just completely overlooked it. So that's my hardware review. So that's what I got for cores. So 10 total. And so is this supposed to be all the way up, like you said, so it can go to 1,000 maybe? 1,000% since I got 10 cores? Is that what that would mean? Yep, you probably saw it before I did, Lee. Lee. I'm guessing you saw it before me. I didn't even notice that you saw it and said something. All right. Let's see. We're over here nerding out quite a bit. Let me see what I got next if I miss anything. Let's see. Multiple HDMI outputs versus NDI. I think we did that one. Stage with output window, stage without output window. That didn't have as big an impact as I thought. The thing that has a big impact is the motion background. So if you have a motion background, that's going to have a big deal no matter what. Transparent versus non-transparent. I didn't test that out. So for my loop, I turn on NDI and I got transparent on that one. Turn on NDI and I'll turn on transparent for that one. And we'll do that. Okay, so I'm gonna turn both of those on. And I've got that active. Let's see what it's doing. On the free show side, went up to 83. Let's see here. That's 10. So 50%. Okay, he's saying 50% of one core isn't much on the whole system level. I mean, it's like 5% of the total. Right. So is this just one core? And it's not taking any GPU, which is interesting. Because I thought I had it working on some of my GPU stuff to accelerate. Let me go to my settings real quick. Now I'm tripping. Under here, Disable hardware. I don't have it disabling hardware acceleration, but it's not hardware. It's not accelerating with the GPU, which I thought it would. Maybe if I do a video, it will. So OBS is definitely pulling on my GPU. So if I go back here, let's go back to show. Let's pull in one of those story loops. Let's do this one. All right. And I'll expect FreeShow to, yeah, there we go. It starts, no, it's not doing any GPU with FreeShow. Interesting. Okay. OBS is for sure. Now the question is, what happens when I go into here and I activate that? Let's see here. That's the share screen. Primary. Let's turn it back on. Let's see what happens here. So FreeShow jumped to 142. OBS is at 148. Yeah, it's 191. And I got NDI on with the motion graphics, and it's going out to 2 physical screens, and I got NDI and the invisible window. I don't think it does anything, but yeah, the motion graphics are the big clincher to me. And I do see the spike on my performance cores and my efficiency cores there, and the GPU. I think this is the 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. These are my CPU cores are spiking quite a bit. That's what this is here, I believe. These are my CPU cores. They're up quite a bit, which is cool. Like I said, the motion backgrounds are going to take a big toll no matter what you do. So if you're doing a lot of motion graphics, make sure that you have that in a very, very powerful PC, computer, Windows, Mac, whatever it is. Because that's, yeah, CPU went to 217. My GPU still isn't doing anything though in FreeShow, which is crazy. So it's all running off the CPU, and it's at 204. Only 10% is idle though, which is interesting. And then I'm using 50 to 60, and it's just staying, it's hovering, it's staying pretty high up here. Well, down here on these performance cores, I can tell. Those are working hard. FreeShow doesn't seem to utilize the GPU that much. Yeah, interesting. Let's see here. Leahy says, that being said, I have no idea how the load is divided between the performance and the efficiency cores. Yeah, that's an Apple thing. I'm not sure what I think the efficiency is just that. It's just designed to keep it as efficient as possible. And the performance is designed for it to perform as high as possible with or without power. They all function the same. As opposed to Windows machines, I'm saying they work differently. They definitely work differently. Yeah, so FreeShow's is staying up there. So if I turn off that output, that background, if I just kill it, let's see what it does. I killed the background. Oh, let me refresh. Okay, there, it finally showed up here. I'm like, what happened? Okay, so now it should drop 244 from 280 something. Yep, it just dropped to 106. It just plummeted, which is great. So that motion background plays a big toll. Like you can see it down here. The motion backgrounds are going to play a big toll in your performance. And FreeShow is now at about 100, and OBS is even less. Interesting. Okay. And then we got, I think that's it. Invisible versus invisible, visible versus invisible window. I don't think that is a big deal. Transparent versus non-transparent. I don't think that's going to make a big difference at all either. But that motion background, the stage output, let's see if we stop the stage output, if I disable that, does it have any impact on anything? I disabled it, still at about 95. It's going down a little bit. 90, okay. Yeah, it's something around about a 90. 596 something. If I disable this output, so if I disable that one, so now I'm down to one output. Does it do anything special in FreeShow? Yep. So that additional output dropped it down by about, I would say, 25 to 30% to 70, 75. Yeah, so the more outputs you have, obviously, the more it's going to work. And you'll see here, um, those performance cores aren't working as hard anymore. Something around 75. Yeah. All right, you guys. That has been a fun experiment. And I got to hear from you all. Layhick in the house representing, giving some good feedback. Kyle Batana 8427 had some great questions. Um, back buddies 137 had joined in from India. Awesome. This whole show was all about checking out the performance. How does FreeShow perform? What does it look like with all these different setups and different systems in place? And you can see here that I'm using OBS and I'm running FreeShow, and we've had some major spikes. We've had some major declines and decreases in terms of what's necessary on my computer. This is a laptop that I'm using, not a desktop. I guess the way Apple computers work, they're pretty consistent no matter what. Um, but to test them on a desktop, I'm gonna have to do something different. I got a little Mac Mini in my other office, my wife's office. Whirly and MJ, good morning, my friend. You just missed the good stuff. uh, let's see here. Um, let's see. I'm looking to see. Fisher doesn't seem okay. Thanks for the interesting stuff. Once again, Lady, thanks again, my friend, for joining in as well. Grilling, we were doing a lot of testing on just different ways that FreeShow and OBS specifically as well, how they're impacted by multiple outputs, how they're impacted by stage outputs, how they're impacted by motion backgrounds, how they're impacted by NDI versus non-NDI. So go back and check out the video when you get time. It's a long one, but it's fun. At least for me, I liked it. Was fun to nerd out. And then Gwirlin, you the one. You got the you using those NDI. I forgot what you called them. They're not. Are they bird dogs? I think they were the bird dog flex or something like that, which is pretty sweet. I would love to see uh, how it works on your end in terms of what you got going on. So till next time, you guys. I'll see you guys on Free Show Friday. On Friday is the plan. I think it should work just fine. But let me know if you got any questions, and I'll be seeing some more stuff. Yeah, on this way to work. No worries. Hey, listen, that's a good thing to do. Good thing to do. I'm on my way to work now too. I'm about to go get ready. I'm gonna try to run a little bit and then get to work. All right. Bless you guys.
Thank you for watching this video. I really hope it helped you in a major way. Now, at this point, most people would ask you to like and subscribe, and I think that's great. But my goal is a little bit different. My goal is to empower as many people as possible all over the globe. And there's one way that you can that is to leave a comment below, questions, about the video that helps you, or things that were left out that you still have questions about, and to share this video someone who is looking for answers, who wants to take this, and with your help, I believe we can do it together. See you next time.